Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode number 75 of the Infinity and Beyond podcast presented by DisKingdom.com with me, Roger, here in the UK, and Abe there in sunny California.
How you doing,
Hi,
everybody?
Abe. So, welcome to the first episode of 2016.
Woo-hoo,
and
Happy New Year.
So we're into a new year. So I hope everyone had a really good sort of holiday season, and but yeah, we're all back to normal today. And also we have new lights after last week's dungeon episode. I went out that night and brought a lot of lights to brighten this room up. So in this episode, we're going to be discussing through the few little bits and pieces of Disney Infinity news, which was a rumored Light FX figure. Disney Infinity bringing in some millions of dollars, and also we are going to be going through our 2016 predictions. So that's going to be the fun bit of the show. So
And
if
Boba
you.
Fett.
Yeah, and Boba Fett being out in Australia. So if you have got any 2016 predictions, make sure you listen, and also you can comment below with your thoughts as we go along. And as per usual, remember you can hit that subscribe button for YouTube, and if you're listening to us on iTunes, you can do the same there as well. Okay, so let's kick straight off into some of the news. We'll just quickly run through that because I think we're going to need a little bit more time for our predictions this morning. So as you said there, Boba Fett is out in Australia in a couple of different retailers. He's supposed to be out this year in single format. He was part of the Saga bundle that was at launch. You can't wait for this one, can you, Abe?
It's the only one I don't get. So yeah, definitely. Yeah, he's one I'm definitely waiting for. So I'm happy he's finally coming out.
Yes, my preferred toy box building of 2015 was Boba Fett, so he is a really cool character to use. So apparently he was supposed to be out in January, but in the a number of regions, including the US, it has been sort of, I don't know if the word delayed, they've just pushed it back. There was never really any official announcement anyway. It just said sort of early 2016. So it's going to be out. So don't overpay for prices on things. It will be out eventually. It's just it might be a little bit later than we originally anticipated.
Well, I mean, according to the interview we had with JV, he did mention that it was on the calendar for January, but it was pushed back. So, but regardless, we never did get an official date for launch. So that's behind the scenes with them. So it doesn't really matter. Yeah. So hopefully February is the case for us in the States.
Mm-hmm. Also, this week, according to a French retailer, there was a listing for a 7th Light FX figure coming out on the leap year on the 27th of February. No clue what that is. It could be a mistake. It could be a load of rubbish. It could just be something that we've already got that they haven't put down properly. Or it could, in fact, be maybe Kylo Ren. We don't think it's going to be Darth Maul or Ahsoka, because of the two lightsabers, but I've also got that sneaky feeling on what if it's Ezra. So I'm still kind of on that fence. What do you think?
It makes sense to at least let it be one of the Force Awakens characters. And I mean, Kylo Ren's base does have room for it in the Hall of Heroes. I know on the same interview with JV, he did say no comment, which usually means possibly. But he also did say that it could have been an error. So again, that also means possibly. So who knows? But it would be cool. The only concern that I have is Kylo Ren's lightsaber has the two little sabers. I wonder if they're going to be able to light up correctly. So, but that'd be cool, right?
Yeah, I think it would be cool. I mean, I definitely would pick that one up. I did actually picked up Yoda this week while I was doing my week shop. For the last 3 weeks, it hasn't been in the store, and I was doing my weekly shop and I saw it on the peg, and I was like, oh, I can't resist. I picked up Yoda. But yeah, I think if Kylo Ren does come out, I think it makes sense. That thing with the whole Hall of Galactic Heroes having the thing underneath it, it's a little bit like, yeah, I'm thinking that's very much going to be a possibility, but it's a retailer leak. It could be a load of rubbish, so very much putting it into the rumor category at the minute.
Yeah, and you know what? Just piggyback off of that news. I mean, can I just add something?
Yeah.
A lot of people have been reporting the Light FX figures pulsating, and I honestly think it has to do with the base. When the base does read all Disney Infinity figures, it kind of reads like in a pulsating manner. So do you notice if you ever put your Light FX figure and you wait for the game to load, it'll blink?
Yeah.
It actually does that behind the scenes too. I'm thinking before you guys go and return your figures and think it's broken, definitely either use an older base that you have or maybe try to find something. What?
I was just gonna say maybe that's actually just what it does anyway, and it isn't actually
right. Well, what I was going to say is actually if somebody has an NFC device like an Android phone or maybe even a laptop and put your figure on there, if it doesn't pulsate, then it's possibly because that's how the base works. So that's exactly what you tapped into. So.
I put Darth Vader down on mine just while I was just testing it out. My wife's just like, is it flashing at me? I don't want Darth Vader flashing at me. Just like, that's a bit creepy. It's like as it just sat there, just it's just like okay.
Yeah, Darth Vader flashing has a whole different meaning.
Yeah, all over
America.
Yes. Exactly, the same one here. Also, some news this week was information came out about sales figures for Disney Infinity coming out. Where it basically bringing in $200 million and it being the #1 Toys to Life franchise in the world, because basically Star Wars. Did you get it?
And just to clarify, it's actually just reported this fall, so they basically made more money, but they definitely have become the most popular Toys to Life category out there.
Yeah, it's quite interesting. I mean, 200 million is, compared to Star Wars Battlefront, which did 660 estimated million for November and December. It's not as high as that, but for the Toys to Life franchise, Skylanders did 150 million and Lego Dimensions did 150 million as well. We were just touching on this just before we came online, was the fact that the Skylanders one, we're quite surprised it's that high. And we don't know whether or not that includes Trap Team sales. But Lego Dimensions, and we said that pretty much is just the price of 5 starter packs. So that's why.
Five starter packs and a level pack, basically. Yeah. It rounds you right over to the 150.
So, yeah, I mean, Disney Infinity had a really, they can't really ask for much more. That was a hugely successful launch. 200 million. #1 franchise. Shows you how big their franchise is, because you look at you're looking at what, $700 million just on those. So that's quite a lot. Actually, was it about $500 million worth of toys being sold alone.
Yeah, and that's not even counting Amiibo, which, even though I don't know if you count them as Toys to Life, but I mean, I guess you do. Yeah. So, I mean, think about it. That's a lot of money being spent in this category than before. So,
but then it's like I said, with the amount of toys and stuff in the stores, you can see why. It was really funny because I was just buying the Yoda, and there was a family running with 3 kids, and they all ran up to the figures, and they're all shouting, going, "We can only have 2.0. We can only have 2 ones. We can't. Oh, I want Olaf." And they were like sort of talking to their dads, and I'm just sitting there like, just listening, just like, because it's quite interesting sometimes just to hear it from like an entirely different point of view. I've taken it away from people that are online that sort of know what they're looking at. This was a family just talking about 3.0 and just like, oh no, we can only have 2.0, and then they're going, well, why can't we have it? And just this confusion, I could hear it in the store, and it was quite interesting, just sort of just listening to see what they're actually sort of listening from a different point of view.
It's funny you say that too. Like this holiday season, I used to be like the one that was in the Infinity shelf, like by myself, and I'm like, okay, this is interesting. And then this year, tons of people had Infinity stuff in their carts. Some people confused, asking questions. Luckily, I was there to answer some. I mean, it's awesome how much it's taken off.
Yeah, we're just standing there. We're just standing there in the aisles, going, yeah, here we are, and we present this Infinity podcast.
You might want this. Yeah, no, don't get that one. Get this one. Yeah, no.
Oh wait,
no.
Yeah, check out this website.
Yeah, no, yeah. Here's my card.
Right, so that's pretty much going to wrap up the news. There's a little bit more news than we were expecting. So we're going into 2016. It's hard to know exactly when we're going to start getting some news coming out. Wouldn't surprise me if in the next few weeks we start getting some more info on that Marvel set. But let's jump into our 2016 predictions. So this is where we're going to be completely just open. We're going to just just throw around what we think is going to happen.
Hold it right there, Roger.
Oh, yeah.
I was going to say, hold it right there. I think we can end the show in 2 seconds. My prediction: more figures, more play sets. Done. Show's over. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care.
So I'm going to just quickly run through what we do know is coming out. So we know we got Boba Fett coming. We know we have got Nick and Judy from Zootopia, and we've also got some power discs for them. We know we've got Marvel Battlegrounds playset, which also is going to be coming with the first Avenger. We've also got Vision, and then we also pretty much can put Ant-Man into the kind of officially teased mode, and there are some other figures that we can't talk about. And also we know that Peter Pan is going to be coming as well. He was picked at the Toy Box Summit last year, and he's going to be coming. And also in a recent interview and stuff, there has been this constant thing of there is more to come. There is more play sets to come for 3.0. So I'm going to throw this one over to Abe. So what's your sort of first prediction you can think of for 2016?
Well, not counting what we know that's coming and what we can't talk about. Okay. Well, okay. JB did mention there's one figure coming in the first quarter that nobody knows about, hasn't leaked. Didn't say whether it's Disney, Marvel, or Star Wars. I'm thinking it's Star Wars. As much as I want it to be Disney, I think it's Star Wars. The one that really makes sense to me a lot, which would make me happy, is General Grievous. And the only reason why I say it makes sense is because they already have basically the schematic, the foundation, because it's in the game. It kind of fights against you, so it makes sense. Yeah. Now, go ahead. You want to add?
I was just going to add, just on the General Grievous front. If you think back to August, sort of July, August, when we were having the game, we were discussing. Everyone was like, "Well, where's the General Grievous? Is General Grievous coming?" If they started production at that point, 6 months to 9 months later would put you into the end of quarter, the first, March time for here. So that would theoretically be possible to have done that, because that's always the thing. I always think you got to be looking maybe 6 to 9 months ahead from when they first want to do a figure.
Right. Now, the other one I was thinking that kind of makes sense, but I don't know because we didn't see any traces of it in the playset, is Captain Phasma. And the reason why I say Captain Phasma, well, all I have to say is just look at the box office. They did the same thing with Guardians of the Galaxy with Yondu. The only thing why it was easier for Yondu is they already had him in a power disc. This one, however, I don't know. It's just a guess. It kind of makes sense to me. And then now, if I want to throw curveball, what could it be if it was on the Disney side? Would love it to be Bing Bong. Yeah, would love it to be Bing Bong. It would be awesome. So that's my side for that figure. What's your prediction?
To be honest, I think Bing Bong is kind of the one that I'm thinking is a very, very strong possibility, because again, it leads into this kind of everybody was asking for it back in June, July, August, when if they started the ball rolling then because of demand and because of feedback, that would make sense time-wise. Captain Phasma to me is too early. They've not had enough time. If they hadn't planned on doing it and only maybe September, October started thinking, well, this character's starting to build up steam, but then maybe they'd seen the movie and went, well, actually, she's barely in it. We won't do that. So Bing Bong and General Grievous make sense from what feedback they were having back when the game launched, a few months ago.
See, I was thinking as far as Captain Phasma, what if they did sort of start planning to do it and then later on found out how much of her scenes would be in the movie, and so they just axed it completely. So it could be behind the scenes how it's prepared. But again, that's wishful thinking. I think so.
Yeah, I mean, I think Bing Bong and General Grievous makes sense from that point. It could be a complete curveball and throw us completely off the scent and just be a random toy box only character.
Agreed.
We had Darkwing Duck or something like that, just to kind of get that one out the gate and just go, right, we've done it, move on.
I mean, I'd be surprised if it finally happens. If it is Darkwing Duck, I think it would make sense for it to be random out of the blue, not to be like a launch figure. So yeah, it kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's. I think this is the big thing I wanted to get into for my predictions for this year. Is they've been this discussion about it being more play sets.
Right.
And we've got this playset coming. We know we've got Marvel Battlegrounds coming in March. And they've also said there's more playsets coming to 3.0. This wasn't like the general kind of playsets coming to Disney Infinity, and therefore we mean 4.0 and the above. Like we heard it with 2.0 constantly. Oh, there were more playsets and figures coming, just not for Disney Infinity 2.0. So I just feel I don't think we're getting a 4.0 in 2016. My gut feeling is thinking we might not get it till summer of 2017, maybe even longer, because the way sort of video games are changing to being episodic and constantly updating, people are now used to having their consoles connected to the internet. We already know Peter Pan and all these new figures and stuff are all being brought in through the internet devices afterwards, and they're putting the little logos on stuff like Marvel Battlegrounds, very clear at the beginning, saying that these are you need the internet connection. Lego Dimensions is going to be doing it. There's so much confusion over these numbers. And people going, "Oh, can I have this playset? And why doesn't this playset work with this figure? And why do I have to keep changing over?" If they can keep to one platform, which is what they keep talking about, and just go all in and say, "Look, we're going to do 3.0 for a couple of years or a few years, and we're going to keep giving you playsets, keep giving you expansion stuff," it makes a lot of sense with how 3.0 has been built in terms of unlocks, the way the screens look, in terms of content being added, empty spaces all over the place, the way that the menus just seem to have been so differently designed that nothing seems to be permanent. Everything seems to be able to move around and be changed. The way that they haven't made any power discs of what's coming. There's no official list. There's not even a guidebook been released, because I don't think there is a plan, or I think there is a plan, but I think it's not what we did in 2.0 and what we did in 1.0. I think we can throw the book in the air this year. I don't think anything is going to work the same way.
Yeah, I kind of agree and disagree. I do feel we will see a 4.0. Whether if it's going to come out this year or not, I mean, I want to guess probably winter of this year, meaning it could be at the end of this year, or technically winter goes on to the following year. So but it makes sense before the holidays. And the reason why I have to say this is what we talked about earlier, which is, that dollar sign, the 200 million, they don't just make it off with just the toys. I mean, those starter packs sell and they make money from those. And thinking about it as a business, it makes sense to me. I don't think Lego Dimensions is going to do the same thing like they say, where all you need is to buy this. Yeah, okay, but they're going to have a second edition with that base in there. That's just my guess. I mean, I know the DLC thing is going to help add more stuff to it and keep things secretive, but yeah. But as far as this playset goes, though, I know you're saying that there's more coming. What's your prediction? What do you think it's going to be?
Yeah, well, before I just jump in, I just wanted the only thing I was going to add on terms of the starter pack thing of what if they do a 3.0 update starter pack in September with one of the new play sets for the season, and just go down that line of just repackage what they've got and just say, and just literally just kind of a little bit of a push. Because I don't know, it's that kind of thing at the price of the starter packs this year. I don't know if the starter packs have really been the thing that seem to be pushing. The software has been the cheapest it's ever been. The starter packs are so cheap. It's the toys, it's the play sets, it's the figures that are making the money, not the starter packs this year. They've gone in at the bottom, and I'm wondering, looking at how they do it with the mobile versions and all these, they give the software away for free. That's the base software is not where they make the money. That's not the bit that brings it. Thinking traditional video games, that's where the money is. But in Infinity, it's the toys, the play sets. That's where the money comes in, not the actual software.
I think the way a domino, if you have like a line of dominoes, the way they all fall over is if you push the first one. And in order for anybody who plays Infinity to push that first domino is to buy that starter pack.
Yeah,
that's why I mean, yeah, they might make the most money from the figures themselves, but without that starter pack, people buying it, they're not going to buy the rest of them.
The other thing that the other thing that kind of got me interested was the fact that on that last patch update was that they gave us some notes, but they also introduced new stuff into the toy box from afar. They added in some features. They added in some new options. They added in some. We've never seen that. They've done fixes to patch things up. I've never seen them add stuff to a toy box before. And
like
that's,
for example,
well, they added like in the boss battle, they added a dozen. They had like half a dozen bosses. They added a load of other bits and pieces and tweak things. And to me, I'm wondering whether or not the actual base toy box software isn't really, if they've got a new toy or something that they can do, they can just add something in. They can't sell us a toy box 4.0 if all they're adding is a few tiny little. I mean, I would almost prefer them to say, look, let's take a break from releasing a starter pack for a year or two and come up with a bigger upgrade, because I feel like, with the graphically, maybe when they dump the old gen and move on to the next gen, give it an upgrade, give it a massive upgrade, rather than keeping to this initial software that they've got. I don't know. I just got this feeling like there's so much has changed with 3.0 that we hadn't seen with 2.0, and I don't know. It's just my gut on that. I don't know what you think.
For predictions, since this is the prediction episode, you're predicting not a new starter pack. I'm predicting one. So let's move on.
Yeah.
That playset though. What about that playset? Let's talk about that playset.
Okay, so
playset will be.
Right. Okay, so I've kind of got a list for this year. I got quite a big list. Right. And this is kind of linked into a lot of it is, I think, with Infinity is linked into the movie release schedule for 2016. I think that's the big thing we have to, with now Zootopia. I don't think we're getting the playset,
unfortunately, which is a huge missed opportunity.
Yeah, I mean that's just a mistake.
Yep.
Okay, so this is just this other figure we were talking about that's coming.
Yep.
What if it's Deadpool? I'm just throwing it out there.
No. 1,000 times. Yeah, let's get a figure for a rated R movie. Yes, please. Let us have Deadpool.
We want Deadpool.
I'll take a Deadpool anytime, but let's not forget the age range that's on that box. That's
it's just that kind of thing. It's just like, there's a movie out in February. There's a brand new Marvel movie out. So yeah,
if that's the case, I will be laughing, but I highly doubt that's it.
Yeah, I can't see a Deadpool one, but I wanted to throw it out there that I'm going to put it on the
wishful thinking list.
Yeah, that was on the really wishful thinking list, and it was the one I actually was voting for in the choice, because that's the one I want. Darkwing, I want Deadpool. So let's move on. So, like I said, we know Civil War's coming out, and I think Battlegrounds is kind of the Civil War tie-in this year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we're going to move along from Civil War, because I think that's already tied into. So we're going to have the Jungle Book is going to be the live-action version of the Jungle Book. And we've seen before in the past on different messages saying, about a blue figure. I could see some toy box characters. I'm not entirely sure if we are going to see a playset based on the Jungle Book, but I could easily see a toy box character like for Baloo or Mowgli.
The only question is, which one are they going to give us, the animated version or the live action? And honestly, I'd rather have the animated version.
Yeah. I think it would be more likely to be an animated version, because it would all tie into it. I just think that would make a lot of sense. And I'm also going to throw Alice Through the Looking Glass into that same category of, I'm wondering, I think it would be cool to see, and again, they've been mentioned in these messages as well about future things. I could easily see a toy box character of Alice in Wonderland or Mad Hatter. I'm not entirely too sure about a playset.
Okay.
So I'm going to put Pete's Dragon in, as well as another Toy Box character that I think could be coming in 2016.
I think that's wishful thinking. I hope that's the truth, but I think it's just going to be like a power disc, unfortunately.
Well, he's not a four-legged character. Oh, he might have four legs, but he does walk upright in the original movie. So
yeah,
he does have arms, and I mean, he might be big, but unless they do a ride along power disc, which would be a real shame because I'd love to see Elliot in there. Yeah. Okay, so this is the next. So this is the big one, really. Is Finding Dory. I know Jason over in Quira put up this big blog post thinking that he thinks that that's going to be the other play set, and I think it would make a lot of sense. I think the only thing is, it's like, just because it's a Pixar movie doesn't mean it's automatically in. Good Dinosaur didn't make it, so if they manage to get swimming in there, it's going to be interesting. But I do worry how they're going to be able to do Dory inside of Toy Box. That's going to be a little bit tricky. What do you think?
It's going to be a mess. I mean, they were able to figure out Cars characters. I mean, they could roll around, but they don't have to be underwater. I mean, to have Dory, what are they going to have Dory like jump around in like a fish bowl or something? It's going to be weird. I don't know. It's going to be tough.
The only thing is, I mean, everyone talks about them swimming and stuff, but I just thought, well, actually, all they need to do is just make them look like they're flying, but look like they're swimming. That's basically. They don't, there's not this whole thing of you put the whole place underwater. They're just flying at that point. They're not actually sort of moving around.
The only way this is going to work is if they push and emphasize the fact that when you're in the toy box, keep in mind you're playing with toys.
Yeah.
Dory is not a real fish. She's your toy, and you're playing with her. So I don't know. I mean, if they're going to really have to change their marketing pitch with this. So it'll be interesting. It'll definitely be interesting.
Yeah, it's really kind of hard. It's just a thing of it, unless they make them their own separate category like they did with the Cars characters. And basically, if you're in like Toy Box Takeover, it just comes up and says this figure is not compatible.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a bit messy, but I think they're gonna have this with quadrupeds and all these kind of different characters. It's just the way the game is. You could put Nemo in a car, I suppose. You could pop him in the it's this is the thing with the Toy Box. We need to throw like logic out the window, because we're already kind of you can have Darth Vader versus Olaf in a skateboarding race. We should really just throw physics and stuff out the window at this point.
Well, I mean, especially if you have like a water park in Takodana. I mean, it just once you got that done, boom. I mean,
yeah. I'm really torn on Finding Dory.
I don't see it, man. I don't see it. Honestly, I see it more possible having a Moana playset or a Beauty and the Beast playset. I just don't see Moana happening. I mean, I don't see Dory happening.
Yeah,
in fact,
I mean, I don't even think it's just going to be Toy Box only. I think they just, if they're going to do it, they have to do a playset. But I can't see them just doing a Toy Box only character.
Right. I was going to say, I mean, you can continue on what you're going, but honestly, all these things that you're going through, I don't even think that's the next playset. And I'll go through mine in a second. But go for it. Keep going.
Okay, so other movies, we got the BFG with, wouldn't surprise me if we had a Toy Box character for that one.
You think so?
I don't see a reason why they couldn't. They could do a power disc pack. I think we're going to see a lot more of this, of just a Toy Box character. If they can do this DLC stuff properly, they can get a Toy Box character and a power disc pack out and tie in with the movie so easily now.
See, my concern is it's not even the fact that's the case. What you're just saying. My concern is the fact that it's from a different studio. It's going to be a partnership.
It is a Disney. It's been advertised as Disney and Steven Spielberg present. Mm-hmm. I do think, I mean, compared to the other DreamWorks movies, no. I think there's a possibility because it's being marked as a Disney movie.
Roger Rabbit.
Yeah. Right. So yeah, BFG's a bit wrong. Right. Okay. So I'm going to go back into Marvel Zone. Doctor Strange movie's coming out in November. I think Doctor Strange is a definite in November power disc because he can go into the Marvel playset. I don't know if they'll. I
A
have
playset?
thought.
I
Well,
think
well,
he's a figure.
he'll be able to go into Marvel Battlegrounds. He isn't going to have a playset of his own unless they
Oh
need.
yes, correct.
Because I don't. It depends if we get another Marvel playset in 2016. But
I
I'm
doubt
not.
it.
I don't think we will. But
Mm.
if they put Doctor Strange out on the shelf net in March, it would help build up a kind of idea of who this character is with kids. I think seeing all the merchandise on the shelf, but it still feels a little bit early because he's still so early on. But I do think it's coming.
I agree with you. I think it's coming. I think they're going to do what they've done so beautifully this last year. Wow, I have to get used to saying last year. Is that they spaced out the merchandise. I have a feeling that we'll have Civil War characters, and then we're going to have another wave of Marvel characters right after. That's what my prediction. But with that one.
Yeah, definitely think Doctor Strange is going to be on the list of coming this year. And then, like I said, Moana. I think I would love that to be a playset. I seriously want that. You got a male and a female single character as the main characters. It looks. I mean, I love anything like Polynesian stuff. That I'm really hoping that is one of the Disney playsets for 2016, be it 3.0 or 4.0.
And that would be our first true Disney playset if that happened.
Yeah, that's kind of. I mean, I think Moana is probably a very, very strong possibility for this year. I really hope it is, because if they're not going to do Zootopia and Finding Dory, that one has to be, they have to be working on it, and they've been working on it for years. I mean, you saw stuff on this a long time ago.
Yeah. Man, if it's Moana, I'd be happy. I mean, like I said already, I'll be happy with Beauty and the Beast as well. But Moana seems to be more plausible. I mean, more feasible.
And that god played by The Rock. I mean, him just
Maui.
I just saw a very small clip of him. He's just big and just like he's just the Wreck-It Ralph. He just looks like he is just going to be an awesome figure.
It's so funny because at D23, it was with Bill Simmons at Disney Nerd Dad, and we were watching the presentation of animation. This is the first time they revealed what Moana looked like her actual true adult image, and then they showed Maui when they both came up together. The first thing that came out of his mouth, dude, those are our Disney Infinity figures right there. Look at the poses, everything. Those are it. And I'm like, yep, I can totally see it. So,
but also it ties into that thing of male female package. It just seems to shout to us, do it. But we've been wrong about Zootopia, Big Wreck-It Ralph.
Man, it hurts every time you say
Big Hero 6 and
that's another one. You're hurting me.
It's like 3 movies down the trot of just being, so it's definitely not a shoo-in for all of them. But yeah, I'd love to see that one. And then also Star Wars Rogue One.
Way too early for anything. I'm sure they're gonna be secretive, just like they were with Force Awakens.
But do you think Rogue One in this year, a playset?
I don't think so. I still think there's a 4.0. I don't think so.
Well, be it 4.0 or 3.0. Do you think there'll be a Rogue?
Oh yeah, Star Wars is on the money train now. I mean, it just took out Titanic in the domestic box office. And I hope it takes out both of the Cameron movies worldwide, because I'm tired of seeing those two on top.
Yeah, I mean, I think Rogue One is definitely going to be a shoehorn in for that time of the year. Obviously they'll have the new characters coming in, but also it boosts up the existing characters, because then it's like, oh, by the way, you can use all of these characters in the new playset. Because I think we're going to keep that going forward with like the Marvel and the Star Wars specifically, where you're going to be able to keep bringing in those old characters, because they can leave Darth Vader on that shelf for years. He is still going to sell, and Kylo Ren, they are going to sell for years. I still think we're going to see a new Rey and Finn character in 2018 when Episode 8 comes out. But I think things like that they'll be able to do.
Yeah, I'll see what happens.
Okay, so that kind of wraps up. Beauty and the Beast isn't out this year, is it? I thought that was next year.
I don't know. I mean, I'm thinking about possibility of them releasing it early for the 3.0 cycle, but whatever. I just keep throwing it out there.
Okay, and there's 2 other TV shows I just want to quickly throw in there. Gravity Falls. What do you think we're finally going to get Mabel and Dipper?
No, and my heart breaks because of that. honestly, if for anybody who sleeps under a rock, the show's ending after 2 seasons, which is heartbreaking to me. And I know to a lot of fans, but that's just the way Alex Hirsch wanted to do it, and Disney supports him. So because it's ending, would it make sense for them to do a playset for it? I don't know. Maybe give it, toy box only characters, I'd be happy, but playset, don't see it happening at all.
Yeah, I mean, they've made so many sort of Gravity Falls online games. They've made the Vita version, and all these kind of like game. If they're gonna do it, they have. If this is I'm wondering, and I'm going to be honest, what if this is the next Disney playset, and this is the one that's going to be out? Maybe the amount of outcry they must be looking at going cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. The amount of people asking for Mabel, they must be thinking there must be some money to be made from having these characters. What if I'm just throwing this as a completely different playset, rather than focusing on movies? What if they go for us a complete curveball and throw us a Gravity Falls playset in the next 2-3 months? Because Gravity Falls is still going to be big this year. It's still going to be a big TV show. Even though it might be ending and doing the marathons, it's going to be on Disney XD every single day for the rest of the year. Merchandise is still out. They've still got books coming out. They've still got toys coming out. If they're going to do it, this is it. This is the last chance to do it.
I'll put that on the wishful thinking shelf, because I don't see it happening. I just don't. Maybe definitely a Maber and Dipper figure. I don't see Grunkle Stan figure coming out, or Zeus. You know what I mean? Like
don't know. It's just the one thing for me that kind of stood out, that if they are going to do it, they are going to have to do it now, because it's just the window of opportunity is closing.
Do you want to hear what the next place it is? Because I think I know what it is.
What's that?
It's probably the next show you were going to talk about. Star Wars Rebels.
Yes, that was the next one.
Yeah, I wanted to say before you mentioned. Okay, look, this past year, in 2015, was the year of Star Wars. Right now, it is basically it's kind of reproducing money, like every second, like $100 bill or quid or whatever the money is.
Yeah.
It keeps reproducing every single time. British pounds keep keep reproducing because it's Star Wars. And look, let's put a couple things together. All the Star Wars characters play in all the play sets.
Mm-hmm.
So it would make sense to have a missing Star Wars Rebel and a villain from Star Wars Rebel and a playset on a foundation that's already existing, and have the characters. We already have 4 characters that'll work for it, which is perfect. And not to mention, this was definitely a playset in the works that ended up being put in the back burner because of Force Awakens and all these other playsets. So it makes sense to me. I mean, keep riding that money train. And Star Wars Rebels 2 is, season 2 is huge. It's not going to stop anytime soon.
See, I think with Rebels, I think that's a perfect summer playset release, because you're months away. You could be 3-4 months away from Rogue One. You're going to be 6 months away from The Force Awakens. They don't need to essentially tie it into to a movie and all the rest of it. They've got the characters out there. They've been a bit skeptic on this thing of there are these couple of characters missing. I think it would make a lot of sense to have that as like a summer Star Wars playset to keep the momentum going through the summer. Because if they aren't going with the 4.0 starter pack, there's no reason we have to have this kind of August flush and September flush. They can spread things out a little bit more. And I just think a Star Wars playset 6 months after Force Awakens would just boost it all up again. And like you said, they can do it. They could do it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, it makes sense. Part of me has this gut feeling that some of these Star Wars Rebel characters might even make a little cameo in Rogue One anyways, because it's around the same timeline. So I mean, it kind of would make sense to keep it going and have those characters, make them familiar, keep them current. Don't let just Rey, Finn, and Poe and Kylo steal the show. You still have Ezra, you still have Kanan, you still have Zeb. You have all these great Star Wars characters, and then again, like I said, you still have Hera, who everybody's been asking for. You still have the Inquisitor, who is an awesome villain. So I don't know. That's just that makes more sense to me than Dory.
Yeah, Rebels, but then that comes under the Star Wars brand, because that's still very much kind of, like I said, we're missing the Disney side of things.
3.0 has been Star Wars. It's the year of Star Wars.
Yeah, I just think this is where I just keep thinking, I think we are going to have a Disney or Pixar playset for 3.0 on top of what we've had. I think the fact that they've been talking, the way the wording, but this is the thing I wanted to kind of mention on here. If there isn't going to be more stuff coming out this year, the thing is with DAC is they kind of got a little bit more control over how that information gets out through retailers or kind of announcing stuff from discs, and kind of going DOC does allow them a lot more flexibility for announcing stuff, and they can spread things out a bit more better. But, and this is the thing of, if they are going to be keeping 3.0 around for another year, longer than they did with anything else, I think they need to start communicating that better, because some of the wording that's coming out, the fact that we're getting a playset in March and we're going to be then getting another playset at some point later this year, it's all very vague, and I think it's confusing, and I think people want to know a little bit more. I mean, last year's May Game Informer was just like, here's everything. Maybe they need to be thinking, telling people 3 to 6 months ahead of launch, because they told us about Marvel Battlegrounds, back in July, and it's not out for another few more months. If there's another place that's coming out, just give us a little sneak peek, get the fans excited, and they'll be able to do stuff. As much as keeping everything back works from the point of view of making, using a little bit of, I think they need to be a little, if they are going to keep it around, and change things up, I think they need to be a little bit more open about it.
And see, here's the thing: we're just guessing that it's just one playset, because we're just going, at least one more based off of the interview that we had with JB. But then again, who knows? Maybe it might be more than one. And second of all, not to be a party poop or anything, but it wasn't specified if it was during the 3.0's life cycle.
No.
So maybe it could be one of those, we did say more play sets next year. We didn't say it would be part of 3.0.
Yeah.
Hypothetically, if 3.0 does keep going more than its life cycle, then it makes sense. But
yeah, I mean, to me, if we're going to get the, say, for example, we do get 4.0 in August as per the usual routine. I could easily see, Rogue One, Moana, and a few other, and maybe Finding Dory moving over to 4.0, and therefore we are getting. I think we're going to get 5 to 6 play sets in 2016, and some more, maybe even some Toy Box expansion games of some kind. But I still think we're going to see more play sets than we have in the past. It's what people have been asking for and demanding for years. They've got 700-800 members of staff, lots of different teams doing stuff. We don't know what what Studio Gobo are working on. What we don't know where these people are all working, and it could be great. We could have another Toy Box Speedway coming out this year. We just don't know how they're going to do it, and it's just going to be interesting to see. I think 2016 is going to be very different to how we've seen launches of 2.0 and 3.0. I just got this feeling.
If you have the feeling for me to buy a lotto ticket, let me know. Because you seem to have these interesting feelings. I don't know.
There's been an awakening.
No, that's called indigestion. Oh man, no. Honestly, I mean that would be cool if it did extend longer than before. I mean, I honestly want to say, if you look at starting with Skylanders from year one when they first introduced the category, there hasn't been a single year where one of these games doesn't release a starter pack. Now, Lego Dimensions has been leading off that next year they won't. You won't need this base again. You won't. So I'm wondering, however that turns out this year with Lego Dimensions, I'd like to see if that's going to be the beginning of something new.
Mm.
But I've heard the term 4.0 be said by somebody higher up. It doesn't necessarily mean it'll be out this year, but I don't know. Looking at those numbers, I think it makes sense for it to. I don't know.
I think as that trouble is of all that there's every year there's just like constant just drone about. I don't want to have to buy another starter pack. I don't want to have to buy another base. I don't want to have to buy playsets I don't want. Why can't they just keep adding it to it? That's all we've been hearing for the last 3 years from people feeding back. And I think
that's just us, though. I mean, it's the fan sites.
No, but also in terms of the but then it's like I said, is you've got these people that won't keep upgrading the game. And then essentially Disney are losing out because they keep pushing forward on these new 3.0 and 4.0 and pushing people forward. But every time the parents are sitting there going, no, I've just brought you a starter. There's 3 other starter packs. There's all these bases clogging up everywhere. They have got to change. I do think in the Toys to Life category has got to change and adapt. It can't keep plowing on with the Skylanders route. The Skylanders route is they're dropping off. They've drummed it in and just gone year on year, starter pack, and they have felt the hit this year. And it's not just because of people have got bored of it, and Disney have to be a step ahead. And I just feel like that train of constant starter packs year after year after year, it's a big drain. And I think last year was the one year when there was 3 starter packs. People were really starting to go, I've had enough of all these things. I don't know, just
I don't know. I mean, all these people might complain all they want, but year 3, Disney Infinity is still the most successful Toys to Life category. Yeah. If it's not broke, why fix it? I don't know.
It's definitely going to be interesting, but we would love to know your thoughts. Remember, you can comment below. Let us know what you guys think is going to be coming in 2016. Go nuts, go wild. We're going to start up a full-on discussion on our Infinity and Beyond Facebook group. I'm sure that's going to be a very, very popular discussion because we're just going to let everyone loose on their predictions.
I want Goofy. There, done. Goofy. 2016. Give us Goofy.
Goofy is my pick for the Disney classic character this year. We had Minnie last year. We had Donald the year before. We had Mickey. Goofy, I think, is a shoo-in as the Disney character. But yeah, I would love to know your thoughts. Comment below. Hit that subscribe button. Let us know on Twitter, Facebook. You can get in us in all the other ways. Also, want to give a big shout out to Ethan over at sorterapps.com and Magic Band Collectors for being Patreon, being our supporter again. And a big thank you to all of our other patrons as well. Really does help having you guys all support us. So there we go. That was our predictions show for 2016. So we might even do next week. We might even do a little bit of a reaction from. I think that's what we're going to do. Actually, we'll do a reaction from everybody else. We'll go through your comments. We'll go through the Facebook group and just kind of run through everyone's comments and predictions and stuff. Unless we have a big major announcement this coming week.
But yeah, don't expect. Yeah, I was gonna say, don't expect that to be the whole show because I will not be on here if that's the case. Oswald, there you go. Oswald's gonna be in.
Well, anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. Be sure to hit that subscribe button, and we shall see you guys in the later video. Later,
guys.
Laters.